Paris, chérie, le beau Paris, c'est tout.
Hello, and welcome to Paris Set Me Free, Paris Photo Tutorials. Now this is another photograph from a walk of mine which turned out to be extremely rich. We didn't know where to go, and I thought I wanted to do some more architectural stuff, so I suggested La Défense, which I've never shown you pictures from, and moving up towards La Villette. So we walked along the canal, and it really gets more interesting the closer you get to Parc de la Villette. So I strongly recommend starting off around about République sort of level, and then taking the canal up, walking along the edge of the canal, and then you start getting to these boats after you get past Stalingrad and Jaurès type of area. You get these boats, and look at the colours on that, incredibly rich. And I've got a few more up my sleeve from this shoot, I'll tell you. But little by little. There's a great contrast between these stunningly saturated, lovely red and green colours here, and this one of the nastier buildings, drab grey. I do apologise if you live in it. I'm sure it's very nice if you're actually inside, but it's a really good contrast between these solid blocks of rich saturated colours and this anchor, which has got nothing to do really with a city centre tower block, which doesn't look too fantastic, let's be honest. So I'm just going to show you the relevant ones here, keep my other ones for another day. We were looking at this trying to work on that contrast. They've got these two boats which they kind of echo each other, and in between them this thing. It was a question of trying to get the angle right to get those two boats to frame it, or get rid of one of the boats and just have this contrast. So we were doing this, and oh, lo and behold, see this little guy here. You can hardly see him. Oh, maybe I can. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's clever, isn't it? There we go. A little sparrow sitting on the boat there. He looks a bit fuzzy. There you go. So that was nice, and but he's still very small. So we had to. Well, I decided to try and zoom in. So there's a shot zoomed in on him. I definitely wanted to keep the kind of external frame and contrast of these fuzzy and grotty buildings. Again, I'm really nervous here in case you actually live in one of these. They're not grotty, but they're a great contrast to this boat. You don't expect to see stunningly bright boats in the middle of Paris, but there's plenty of them. But this is the other reality of Paris, especially as you get out towards the periphery. You get far more of these buildings which are quite high-rise, and to be honest, they've got a superb view. I'd love to live in one of these. So I saw the bird, and as ever, looking for the centre of interest. It's got to be the bird, the fact that he was there and sitting so perkily. So I was looking for an interesting shot with him. And here's the next one. To be honest, I got rid of a lot of these because I took tons, because when I saw this I thought, right, this could be a good shot, let's take a lot. So I did take a lot. Here's a few. There's another one. I realised it was a bit dark. Well, I was darkening it here in this last one for the saturation. I thought it might be a bit too dark, lightened it up. Here's another shot. It's all very well, but it's not too exciting. I was trying to get him looking in a certain direction. In fact, I was trying to get him looking this way. There's a great lamp, which is nice as well, gives even more of the flavour of the boat. But if you get that in, as opposed to a shot like this, you're starting to make the sparrow look extremely small indeed. He's nicely surrounded by this green thing, which kind of, sort of halos him or outlines him, which is good. So that kind of compensates the fact that you lose the lamp if you zoom in. Now I tried a different angle. There he is in portrait form. You can't see that, but it actually goes up and down, higher up this way and higher down this way. So I was trying to see if that angle was better, and it was quite nice actually. So carried on shooting. A few more. Still these. I don't know. I was looking for something a bit special. I decided to darken it down again. And finally, when I was almost at my wit's end and despairing of getting anything particularly interesting, I got this shot here. And I thought, now that's nice. That's perky. I mean, he's not actually looking away, so he's not in silhouette. You can't see the typical bird's head with the beak. But what you can see is this lovely characterful sort of leaning out to one side as though he's trying to look at you and saying, what are you doing? You know, what do you think you're doing? Taking pictures of my boat. So that all of a sudden changed this whole picture into something a bit special. So I went with this one, and there's the final result. So basically, not too much more to say about it, really. I've given you all the reasons I like this shot. You've got the massive contrast between, not forgetting all my photographs, almost all of them are in Paris, and if they're not, then they're just outside. So this is in Paris, and people know that. And here's this beautiful boat. You've got a very strong angle here, which almost echoes the angle of the top of the frame and the left of it. You've also got this very interesting contrast of this obviously sort of tower blocky building here, which is echoed here. So these two top corners here both have these sort of buildings in them, as does this bottom corner. So that's nice because this other corner has this massive contrast, and there's about the same amount of space here as there is here. So it's all reasonably well balanced. I've lost that very nice lamp, but I have got this lovely little sparrow who's just about big enough in the shot for him not to be lost, and for people to realise that, to see him, to appreciate that that's what the subject is, and that he's quite funny, and that he's kind of looking at you thinking, hey, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing? And he's also nicely, perfectly, if I may say so, backdropped by this green semicircle. And I guess I could tell you other things like this rope nicely frames or seals this bottom right hand corner. The writing is very nice and clear and big, extremely big, and Adelaide hasn't got much to do with Paris, so that's a very nice surprising contrast. You know, maybe it's come from Adelaide, what do we know? Although I doubt it, seeing as it's a blooming great barge. And yeah, there it is. That's about it, really. Nice and sharp here. So I tried to work out what I should call this, because you know I like to try and give my pictures interesting names or some sort of vague, pun. And I came up with something which I can't remember, but I think I'm going to replace it with I had it sailor spid, because spid is what we used to call sparrows when I was a kid. Spids, little spiddies, something like that. But then I thought, he looks like he's in charge of the boat, and he's got a rather, I own this place, what do you think you're doing attitude. And then I thought about Captain Jack Sparrow, so I thought, okay, I'll call this picture either Captain Jack or Captain Jack Sparrow. Haven't decided yet, you'll find out on the blog. If you have a look at it for the good quality picture at parissetmefree.blogspot.com. Thanks a lot for visiting. Hope you like this one. There's more from this canal to come. Thoroughly recommend it. And see you next time. Bye bye.
Depuis que je suis à Paris, le jour et la nuit, je suis gris. J'ai compris la douceur de vivre. Je suis fou de joie, je suis ivre. Depuis que je suis à Paris.